In this video, we're going to find all x such that sine of x plus sine of 3x all over sine of 2x equals the square root of 2. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss a video. Okay, what we could do is write sine of 3x in terms of sine of x. We could expand sine of 2x to be 2 sine of x cosine x, do all this messy work to get the final answers, but instead, let's use something that's interesting. So on the top, we have sine of x plus sine of 3x. So let's look at sine of x plus sine y. Is there identity for this? Now, if you know the identity, you can just go right to the step, but we will show the identity. So we know that sine of a plus b equals sine a cosine b plus sine b cosine a. Pretty standard. So let's look at sine of a minus b. Now, I don't remember this, but you can just plug in b to be negative b and then change them out. So we're going to have sine a. Cosine of negative b is the same thing as cosine b because cosine is an even function. Then we're going to have sine of b cosine a. So it'll be sine of negative b, but again, differently, sine is an odd function, so sine of negative b is the same thing as negative sine b. So we want sine of x plus sine of y. So if we have sine of a plus b plus sine of a minus b, that will actually eventually get us to sine of x plus y, sine of y. So let's add these two equations up and see what we get. So we get sine of a plus b plus sine of a minus b equals, okay, so these are the same, so you just get two of them. 1 plus 1 is 2, times sine a cosine b. But look right here, this is really interesting. Plus and negative, so 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay, so that's interesting. So that we have in terms of a and b, but we want in terms of sine x plus sine y. This is in algebra, you can just let anything be a variable and work from there. So we're going to let a plus b equals x and a minus b equals y because we want sine of x plus sine of y. So this is x, this is y. We want to find a and b. Okay, but we can add these two equations up, leaving us with a plus a is 2a equals x plus y. So a will be x plus y all over 2. Let me just erase some stuff so we have more room. Okay, let's look at, let's box this in. Let's look at a plus b equals x, subtract by the equation a minus b equals y. So a minus a will cancel. B minus negative b will be 1 minus negative 1, which is 1 plus 1, which is 2 times b equals x minus y, which tells us that b equals x minus y over 2. Okay, so we have that this is equal to 2 sine of x plus y over 2, basically the average of x and y, and then we have cosine of x minus y over 2, which is like the difference of x and y divided by 2. Okay, good. So now let's plug in y to be sine of, so let's plug in y to be 3x, so we get sine of 3x. So this would be 2 sine, okay. X plus 3x is 4x, divided by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2 times x. Then we're going to have cosine x minus y. So x minus 3x will be negative 2x, divided by 2, which would be minus x. Okay, good. But cosine's an even function, like we said before. So this will just be cosine of x. Okay. And look right here, you have a sine of 2x on the denominator. So we can just divide it by sine of 2x. We'll move the equal sign to the middle, just so it looks better, all over sine of 2x. Okay, and this is equal, the original says it's equal to the square root of 2. Okay. So now we're going to suppose something interesting. Suppose sine of 2x does not equal 0. So why do we want to do this? Because if we have 0 over 0, we have problems. So let's cancel this out, sine of 2x out on top and bottom, but then we have to have that sine of 2x does not equal 0, because 0 over 0 is not equal to a square root of 2, or a number. Okay, so once we cancel these things out, we get that 2 cosine of x equals the square root of 2, and we're going to have to check this at the end. The cosine x we can divide by 2, so this would be square root of 2 over 2. And you know the base angle for this in radians will be x equals pi over 4. Okay, so x equals pi over 4. Now this will be x1 because there will actually be more solutions than this. But because this is trigonometry, we can add 2 pi n to the angle, 2n pi, let's just say, and it won't change anything because it'll be a circle. You'll spin around the same rotation. So x1 is pi over 4 plus 2n pi. So let's look at the graph of the circle. So this will be quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. And cosine x equals square root of 2. Square root of 2 is obviously positive, but cosine of something is positive when x is in the first quadrant or the fourth quadrant, because that's basically where x is positive. So x positive, if this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. So this is x being negative. So we want the first quadrant and the fourth quadrant. The angle in the fourth quadrant, now you could either do negative pi over 4 plus 2n pi, so basically making the base negative, so that would put us to the fourth quadrant, or if you think about it, like it ends on 2 pi, it has to be 7 pi over 4 plus 2n pi, but that's the same thing, because n can go to n plus 1. Okay, so now let's check. So we're going to check sine of 2x. Check sine of 2x, because if sine of 2x equals 0, then we can't use this. We need to find another method. So let's just check sine of 2x really fast. So we're going to have sine, and so this will be plus or minus pi over 4. We can just write pi over 4 plus 2n pi, all multiplied by 2. This will be equal to sine plus minus 2 pi over 4 is the same thing as pi over 2 plus 4n pi. But as you know, the 4n pi doesn't really matter because it's just more 2n pi's, and 2n pi's don't change the angle. So this is just sine of pi over 2, or sine of negative pi over 2, which is an element of 1 and negative 1. So sine of 2x does not equal 0. And that is the end of the video. Hope you liked it, and thanks for watching.